Yeah, no, it is a lot, you guys. I want to just create the safe space for us to acknowledge what we've been going through, what we've been feeling. It is quite heightened at this moment because you can imagine when all the water starts to go down the drain right at the very end, it just gets really chaotic and you can't really differentiate a lot of the energy in there just because it starts to whirl so quickly. And if I could just give one kind of visual of how this energy works, because this is actually going to describe even when they were being able to take pictures of the double moon in the sky. Do you guys remember seeing the double moon pictures in the sky a while back? So these, when we get closer and closer to the ascension cycle, what's really happening is we're starting to get connected. Yeah, we're getting connected to parallel Earth, but not only parallel Earth, but it's parallel Earth in the Pleiades, so Tara. And we are really kind of merging through the dimensions. And so it's particle, anti-particle energy. And it's a little hard for us to kind of get it, but on a large kind of scale, if you think of the toroidal energy as it comes together in that center point, you can almost imagine particle, anti-particle. So you have Earth, parallel Earth. You also have parallel Tara. So in the second harmonic universe, we're talking about fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension within the Pleiades. And I don't have a picture right here, but when you look at the Pleiades and the photon belt, it's almost like this huge donut that goes through these cycles. And Earth, remember, we are part of the Pleiades. That's why we're so connected to the Pleiades, is because when the fall of Tara happened and the planet there kind of exploded through that in the Alcyone area, what happened is Earth is actually supposed to be kind of one of the planets that is part of the Seven Sisters. You could actually consider Earth the eighth sister. That's how connected we are. But we also, it's again, this is how we have to stretch our imagination. These beings that travel, they don't travel like us driving from one side of the United States to the other. Guess what? We're driving every single mile to get from the West Coast to the East Coast or the East Coast to the West Coast. That's not how you get to the Pleiades. You use stargates. So it's interdimensional travel. And so, therefore, even though the Pleiades seems like it's really far away in the Taurus constellation, it's not. It's just another dimensional frequency away from us. So we're actually a part of it. And as this ascension cycle is happening, we are merging through dimensions and it's fading in and out. And that's why we see more spirits at different times, because we're merging in and out through the dimensional spectrums. And that is actually when one of the particle anti-particle waves was happening, because it's again, it's a cycle. If you can kind of look at it like this, and as we come together, we merge, we merge, we merge through these dimensions. And it's in those merge moments you see between the dimension and the veils. We can handle it a little bit, but it's also those times when our eyesight gets blurry. It feels like we're walking in a dream. It feels like time is just so distorted and we don't know where we are. It's because we're in these in-between realms. And it's when these in-between realms come that you actually will see an extra sun or an extra moon in the sky. And you can take pictures of them because it's the blurring between these two dimensions kind of crossing over each other. That's just the best way I can kind of describe that right now, because it's at these influx portals that when these happen, our job is to be amplifying our DNA spectrums and our codes so that when these happen, that we are able to move through the Stargate at the ascension cycle, because we don't want to go into the in-between realm again between lifetimes. Every time we've ever had a past life regression or memories between the in-between lives, In between lives only happens if you're being recycled. It's like, damn it. This whole time I thought it was so cool, and it just meant, oh my gosh, I'm going back in. So within this, how do we start to break this cycle? How do we start to do this? This is where we want to really start attuning ourselves again to the halls of a mentee. We did do one evening where we really talked about the halls of a mentee, and that video is still up. But the halls of a mentee is where we really connect to our Palladorian family. And this is a family line that holds the genetic codes for us, that when we link with them through your meditation, through consciousness, through your heart center, it attunes your DNA. And there's not really a whole lot of work that we have to do, you guys, other than choose love, choose forgiveness. When we choose love and we choose forgiveness, we're choosing the higher vibration. And when we're choosing that, we're starting to allow that new light codes and the light language and the downloads that we're getting to move through us. And as we do this, when you attune to an energy, it just automatically transmutes within us. There's nothing that we really have to do other than many times be in the presence of each other within a high vibration, and our genetics automatically go and we attune and we light up with each other again. It's that simple. Our job is pretty much to get out of the way. Online, awesome pick online of 2 sunsets. Oh yeah, that's awesome. This is so cool. And we actually get to see those things, right? Yeah, that is so cool. All right, so what I want to do is let's go ahead and do our meditation and our grounding. Let me shut this real quick. All right. So as we get to, first of all, just attune to our energy right now, I'm going to invite each and every one of you to take everything we've been talking about and all of the energy that we have, and all together on the count of 3. I'm going to ask everybody on the count of 3 to actually throw all of it up to your higher self and just say, pull it from me now. So on the count of 3, everything that we've been dealing with, talking about, and everything that hasn't been feeling good, I want you to imagine grabbing it. 1, 2, 3, throw it up to your higher self, pull it from me now. And so it is. That in this very I am present moment of now, we call upon the guardian host, that in this very moment we call upon all of us here within the circle, and all within the circle that are only with us energetically in this moment, to fortify the sacred corners and to protect each and every one of us with the Christos light. That in this moment, as we amplify the 12th band ray of frequency, that we amplify the crystalline frequency of light in order to amplify all energies, fortifying our mission of upholding divine law and divine right order through this transition of this ascension cycle. As we acknowledge the guardians in the 4 corners, we acknowledge all of our guardian hosts that have been assisting this mission from the beginning of time. That with so much love in our heart, we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, within this, as we are held together as a circle, I'm going to invite each and every one of you to, in this moment, create your 12th dimensional shield. Just allow yourself to just connect to Earth Mother and take it all the way down. Connect to Earth Mother, to Tara, to Gaia, and then all the way to the Aurora Earth within the Andromedan galaxy. So what you're doing is you're connecting to Earth body in the 1st harmonic universe, the 2nd harmonic universe, the 3rd harmonic universe, the 4th harmonic universe, and all the way up into the 5th harmonic universe. Amplify all the way up. anchor, lock, and seal, a full direct channel between all energetic bodies of Earth. That in this moment, as we hold ourselves here sacred in this moment, that we become the pillars of light that hold the anchor point to help stabilize the realignment of the tree of life, Kathara body of this universe. And that as this universe reattunes itself, that we are hereby reinstating our direct pathway between Earth in the first harmonic universe and Tara within the Pleiades of the second harmonic universe. We reinstate all channels of divine communication, love, and light in this moment. And anything that is not supporting this energy of us upholding the reconnection through the halls of Amenti, in order for all souls and sentient beings to have the right through the ascension portals again through this time cycle. We are hereby commanding to please identify, locate, remove, and repair any infiltrating energies that are trying to stop or distort any of the energies to keep Earth cycle from ascending. Identify them, locate them, remove them, and repair them now. This is commanded from our divine free will, and so it is. Show us now. And as you imagine just pulling all this energy through you and continuously throwing up to your higher self anything and everything that does not serve you in this time, every time you allow your arms to just toss up, imagine feeling in your shoulder blades as though your wings are expanding out. Feel your full divine angelic body in its full energetic imprint overlaying over your physical body now. As you imagine, sense, and feel your divine power of I am that I am, we are that we are, and we are one. That in this moment, as we all call upon our higher selves, that we align all of our energetic bodies in every layers of our morphogenetic field through all of our meridians, our axitonial lines, all of our connections to the ley lines and magnetic lines of Earth, and that within this moment, as we connect to the planetary body of divine Earth, Tara, Gaia, Sophia, all the way up to the Aurora Aramatena gateway, that in this moment we accelerate all light codes and frequencies to flow through us. Please identify any energies that have been clogged, that has been impeding this energy and that do not support this now. Amplify the light codes as fire streams of energy flowing through us of the divine fire of light. Purify us now with the crystalline fires of light. This is commanded. Show us now, and so it is. That in this moment, please identify any places that we have been holding any emotional energy, any places that we have been infiltrated through our emotional body, through our fourth astral layer field. Please identify now any places within our mental plane where our emotional body has been infiltrated in any of our resources, our energy, our resolve of who we are, our Christos mission that we are living. And our fortification of holding our divine path within us has been deteriorated or diminished in any way, shape, or form. Identify all of these places where any of this has entered into us and remove all of these energies now, pull it all from us now, and seal permanently and irrevocably any of the places where our aura has looked like Swiss cheese, where it has had holes or been torn or been fractured or been shattered in any way, shape, or form. And we are commanding our divine blueprint, restore our permanent and divine Christos auric field around us now, show us now, and so it is. So now within this energetic field, amplify your perception as you connect to the full embodiment of Earth and all her energy layers. Now bring that and breathe it up around you like an aura around you. Imagine that this is your full embodiment of the first harmonic, second harmonic, third harmonic, fourth harmonic, all the way up into the fifth harmonic of the solar Rishi energy of the divine Christos light fully and completely emanating through you. And on the count of 3, you're going to pop yourself open like a sun, like a star, like just pop like a star shining in the sky. And I want you to be bigger than Antares, be bigger than Arcturus. And I want you to know that if our solar body within the solar system was next to Arcturus or even Antares, it would look like a pea. It would look so tiny next to it. So I want you to pop bigger than even Antares within the sky on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Amplify your field now. Anchor, lock, and seal the new genetic codes within. Restoring all vibrational frequencies to support all energetic and etheric layers of the 12-strand DNA, 24-strand DNA, 36-strand DNA, 48-strand DNA, all the way up to the Oraphim, Elohai, Elohim, Anahazi line DNA sequences in order to hold the pure genetic lines coming from the higher heavens of the Andromedan Mother Galaxy. Show us now, as we reattune ourselves to the divine feminine mother, the divine Sophia, living and breathing her dragon's breath right through us. Now, every breath you take is the breath of Mother breathing through you. It is the Holy Spirit. Every breath you breathe the photons, the light codes. Breathe sunlight in through you like crystalline seeds of light. The Holy Spirit moves through you. Breathe it in. And on the exhale, let go of anything and everything that has been reversal light and reversal energy. There's nothing you have to think about. All you are doing is imagining anything and everything that has not been in alignment with living light energy, part of the living body of Mother. You are just breathing it out and send it to the sun. There's nothing you need to do with it. It restores it back to neutral energy. Our job is to start letting the divine heavens support us. We don't need to do everything the hard way. We don't need to do all of it on our own anymore. We need to remember that we are part of a unity consciousness family of one. And when we receive the help, accept the help, be the help, all of a sudden, things will happen seamlessly, easily. Wow. Now amplify the field around you, this orb of light, and imagine your physical body inside of it. And just allow these waves of light to move through your physicality, through your bones, through your muscles, through your fibers, through every aspect of you, moving through your blood. And I want you just to really watch it move through every bit of fluid through your body. So we're going to be breathing the Holy Spirit, the living essence of creation through all of the water of your body, which is the other element of spirit within your body. And all I want you to do is just breathe and imagine breathing in crystalline sparks of light into you. And every breath out, push it through every water molecule within your body, especially through your blood, your sacred blood. Now, for all of us here, this is actually very special because blood holds the DNA and genetic patterns, and these cosmic patterns get passed through the female lineage lines. So you are going to be breathing this, and you're going to breathe it all the way back through your female lines, through you as a female, and all the way forward through your female lines. And in the future, if a male hears this, that you breathe it through the feminine aspect of yourself. So go ahead and breathe it in. As you breathe out, you are just breathing the crystalline light of the divine spirit through all the water, the purification. As you hear these words, that in this very I am present moment of now, that as we call upon the divine cosmic mother and the divine cosmic father, that in this moment we stand here fully and completely as the divine beings of light, as expressions of the ultimate beings of creation. That within this moment, as we acknowledge our place as a part of the whole and also as unity within the whole, that we reinstate ourselves as being one. And that within this moment, any places that we have ever been fractured, particleized, separated, any places that we have ever been shattered, any places that we have held ourselves back in any way, shape, or form, any places that our blood lineage line has ever been pulled into any other's resources through blood contracts, blood agreements, through curses, spells, superimpositions, through the casting of any kind of incantations across all times, dimensions, spaces, and realities, through any of our bloodline lineages, that we hereby call through and reach through our living Holy Spirit of breath through all genetic lineage lines to the very beginning of the inception of bloodlines through all creation. As we take it all the way back through all of our starseed nations, all the way back to the cradle of Lyra, all the way back to Aramatena, and all the way back to our home within the Mother Andromedan galaxy. That regardless of whether or not our human consciousness remembers these memories, our blood, our DNA, and our genetics knows, because this is part of our living library. That here in this moment, we command from our divine right and our divine order, that any places that our divine sacred bloodline has been manipulated, fractured, pulled into reversal realms, pulled into parallel realities, used within any anti-Christic ways or matters, that in this moment we are hereby calling by our divine right all of our soul frequencies, all of our genetics, all of our bloodlines, and we are hereby breathing the Holy Spirit breath through all of them now and purifying them with the crystalline waters of light. And that any places that they have ever touched another being and entangled and worked within that being's free will, that we hereby acknowledge our ability now to also heal that other being that has touched our blood. Through all quantum entanglement, we take this and quantify it through the entire matrix of creation, through the Divine Mother and the Divine Father, that we acknowledge through the prayer of our heart and through our divine love, that we forgive all places that we have enacted within ourselves, any of the light and the dark polarities within ourselves, and we bring all of it back into harmony as one right within us. Any places that we have made any of creation wrong, we are complete with that now. Pull all of that from us now. Just take some deep breaths, because this is just a huge ball of energy that we're working with right now. And just imagining opening up to the entire quantum field. And the entire quantum, even if you wanted to imagine all of the universe as a quantum computer, that we are hereby now touching every crystal, every Akashic library, every place where any nodes or memories or any of the imprints of any programs have been placed. And we are reaching our tentacles of our connection through all living source, through every morphogenetic field and every morphogenetic pattern, through all creation, all the way back to the original seed source of creation. And in this moment, we are commanding that here in this living physical body, that we choose now to reinstate the living blueprint of the original seed of creation, amplify it within our body, and reverberate it and amplify it through the entire quantum field of all creation in any place that our genetics and our bloodline has ever touched. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Show us now. And so it is. Reset now our entire soul blueprint across all creation. And so it is. And just let the divine creator breathe through you. And in your head, you might even say, I surrender now every place I tried to decide how this universe needed to be. Every place that I did not trust the divine cosmic creator. I am complete with that now. Every place that I did not trust how the dance of the dark and the light has been perpetuating and actually evolving consciousness in creation, and that all is sacred within the cosmos. The dark and the light are all part of the creator. So every place that we have tried to make one good and one bad, we are complete with that now. Now, as you just hold this energy that I'm just very lightly going to share some energy, allow your body to just keep getting bigger. Allow yourself to feel your human body, but feel your second harmonic universe body, your third harmonic universe body, your fourth harmonic universe body, your fifth harmonic universe aspect of being pure divine source creation, and a light spectrum. And as you feel all the way up to the fifth harmonic universe, that this would really be the rainbow dragon essence of being, pure crystalline rainbow consciousness, this light just breathing through all creation. And allow that breath to just constantly be breathing down every single dimensional spectrum all the way into this physical body, and keep breathing it into your bones. They keep saying, breathe it into your bones. Imagine that your bones are crystalline caverns of light, as if you traveled into the inner earth and you all of a sudden discovered this amazing cavern of crystals. Let that be the inside marrow of your bones. That within this, that we can acknowledge our longer term mission, that Christos mission that we've been on within creation. And we're going to take a little bit of a journey backwards in time today. As you get to imagine this, just keep breathing this energy. But that through the inception of Earth, that we know that through the original seedings of Earth, that we have the Namaluu, our divine aura femme guardian beings. These are our original first angelic bodies. These were bodies that were 12, 15, even 18 feet tall. Many of the body forms that we would have had in those times might have had feathers, might have had fur. We were shimmering beings of light. Through these bodies, remember what it was like to feel the energy vortices on the earth just through your form. Wherever you walked, you were communicating with the plants, with the animals, with the earth. You could feel the chakra points of the earth, the energy vortexes of the earth. And they tickled and they moved through your body, because as you walked the earth, vortices don't always stay stationary. Sometimes they move around. And so as you would find them, you could stand within them and immediately transport yourself and all of a sudden be on Alcyone in the Pleiades, or maybe within Mintaka in Orion. It's within any moment of being able to walk upon these different energetic centers, upon these planetary spheres, that it immediately would open these doorways, and like a magical doorway, you would step into it and you would find yourself in another planet, another time, and another realm. And remember what it was like to be in such an incredible angelic form. And that as we walked upon planetary bodies within these forms, that we held all of the knowledge of creation within ourselves. We could feel the entire evolution of the cosmos moving through us. But within these forms, we were also very innocent. We did not understand manipulation, darkness, trickery. We did not understand trying to deceive another because we were in so much harmony with creation. Now, as we imagine this race line of beings, that as evolution occurred, one of the root races of these beings became these divine fire beings of light, and we took on more of a female form upon the earth. We were nurtured by many of the divine feminines from the Orion star nation, from the Lyran star nation, and from the Syrian star nation. And we lived upon the earth within these places that seemed like sacred gardens. And it was very loving, it was very magical, and we had infinite creator energy as we worked within the planetary body, because we were the living, walking visual, if you will, of the planet. We were the planet in physical form. And just allow yourself to remember for a moment, feeling yourself as an aspect of the consciousness of the body of Earth, that you were the walking form of the beautiful Gaia, tending your own garden, being an expression as a guardian, as a part of the consciousness. And that through your higher consciousness, through the movements that you did, the dances that you did, the songs that you sang, the portals that you tended, that you were completely cultivating, loving, expanding, and accelerating the consciousness of this very beautiful planetary body, Earth. Now, as we get to experience this energy, feel your connection to the stars, to the cosmos, remembering your star families, remembering that you are not alone on this planet, but in fact, we remembered feeling our connection to our star nations in Sirius, in Orion, in Lyra, in Alpha Centauri, in Andromeda, in Arcturus. Feel your family in Pegasus, in Eridanus, in Canceri. Feel your family in Scorpius, across all the cosmic bodies. Feel all of the stars shining across the cosmos. And as you shine here, that we are all shining together as one. There is no separation. Every single place within the cosmic body is sacred. And it feels good to be a part of the entire body, shining your light in the most beautiful way. Now, as you experience this, remember our innocence. And throughout the divine plan of the cosmos, of which we are not here to judge, because this is our opportunity to start to ask divine cosmic mother and divine cosmic father, what was the purpose of manipulation? What was the purpose of the parasitic infiltration? What was the purpose of the reversal worlds connecting with this matrix? How did they help us grow? But now I want to take you to a time in history, the original times in history where we have some of our divine family, our Anu family, that became aware of the beauty that we were within the gardens here on Earth. And they saw our beauty, they saw our pure creative energy. And the only way that they knew to connect with it was for them to trick us, to manipulate us, for them to get our secret codes, and to infiltrate our reality. And that in order for them to capture us, that they forced themselves upon us and mated with us, in order for us to bear their children, in order for us to now have given them our sacred genetics, our sacred blood, and our sacred codes. And now the intertwining of these two energies is forever intertwined upon this very earth. And as you sense this part of your history, that in this very I am present moment of now, creator God of source of all that is, that we acknowledge all of the times in history where we felt as though we were manipulated, that we were forced upon, that we bore the children of beings that we did not feel were in divine right or in divine right order. All of the places where we feel as though our sacred codes and our sacred genetics were used in order to harm the earth, bastardize the earth, to create darkness upon the earth, ignorance upon the earth, and entrapment of souls. That we acknowledge our point and our part within all of this, that it is because of these very moments, that it was the initial moment when souls began to get trapped into the reincarnation cycles and not allowed the ascension cycle once again. And any places that we have ever felt that this was wrong, that we were victims, that we felt as though this was something that we were helpless or hopeless against, and that we became so disillusioned by how overcome and overwhelmed we were by this energy. We are complete with that now. For whatever its purpose was, that in this moment we are here by standing here with the vibration of love to forgive it, to love it, and to set it free. That in this very moment, we acknowledge that our act of forgiveness to all of this energy literally erases it from our DNA, from our bloodline, and from our memories. Therefore, it has no power or hold over us ever again. So in this moment, we acknowledge our divine, sacred, original divine feminine lineage lines of the Namaluu and the Lu'u on the planet. Thank you. Thank you for everything that you have done. Thank you for being the initial point upon this planet for this history that we have been living. Thank you for reconnecting with us again. And in this moment, as we take all of our hybridized DNA and genetics, we hereby now step forward before the divine cosmic mother and father and say, here we are. We choose to be the living essence and the living library of light. So for whatever the purpose has been, for how the darkness and the light has ever intermingled within this universe, show us now how this can be the most beautiful radiance for accelerating consciousness within all creation. We choose to be the catalyst of the living light through all of the entanglement that has ever happened through us. This is commanded and this is done. Pull all levels of victimhood, polarity, or blame, shame, or guilt out of us now. Pull it from us now. This is commanded and this is done, and so it is. That throughout these histories in time, that as the divine Lu'u or the Namaluu races were utilized in these ways by the infiltrating races upon the earth who wanted to overtake this sector, the solar system, and to control it for themselves. They wanted to take it. They wanted to step outside of the Orion Empire and have this place all for themselves so that they could be the rulers of this domain. And through our timelines and our histories, that our divine Syrian heritage, our divine Syrian starseeds were appointed the guardians and the caretakers of ensuring that consciousness and the light within the solar system and through the ascension cycles would not be diminished and not go out. So as we acknowledge within this very I am present moment of now that we want to acknowledge the high councils, the councils of light within Orion, we want to acknowledge the Archangel Michael, the true Archangel Michael family, the true blue flame Melchizedek lineage line, the Elohai, the Elohim. We want to acknowledge the Anuhazi lineage lines, and all who have been upholding the Christos mission. We say with so much love to all of our Syrian family that has been upholding this lineage line and incarnating through the Christos lineages in order to be on the missions, in order to reinstate Christ consciousness, cycle after cycle after cycle. That in this moment, we say with so much love to our Arcturian family, to our Serpens family, to our Fukin family, to our Beta Centaurian family, to our Nihal family, and to all of the in-between and liminal starseed beings who have been healing all of our souls in between lifetimes in order for us to always remember our star nations and who we are. We say thank you, thank you, thank you. That in this moment, as we acknowledge this, that we can acknowledge that the Kumaras, the beings of light, the dragons of light, the original beings that originally were holding the sacred geometry from Mentaka in the 8th Stargate within Orion, who were working to uphold the Christos mission within the lower dimensional spheres, working alongside the beings from Sirius and the higher dimensional beings from the Pleiades in order to create the halls of Amenti here on Earth. That as we acknowledge these halls of Amenti, that these are the original sacred teachings, the initiate teachings, and the mystery teachings that were seated upon the earth. That as we can begin to realize from Atlantean times, that in Atlantean times we had the Syrians who were also stationed on Venus and also within the higher stations of Jupiter. That as they held these stations, that they held within the mystery schools, within the Atlantean teachings and the Lemurian teachings, the initiate teachings in how to move through the ascension process. But through many of the manipulations on Earth, these teachings had to be hidden. They had to be sacred. They had to be pushed into the inner earth in order to keep them sacred so that the living light could stay on the planet for the right times in history for us to access those wisdom teachings again. So through the Atlantean times and the fall of Atlantis, we have a race line of beings called the Kalu. Now the Kalu are a race line of beings, and I want to just to give an impression of these beings, but these are the ancient ones, the ancient wise ones that were part of the ancient Syrian and Venusian lines that were working with the Kumaras. So we're talking about the Sanat Kumara, we're talking about the luminaries of light, the children of light. And as they worked upon this earth, that they actually started to create sacred lineage lines. They created lineage lines. They created the Essenes. They created the Druids. They created the beings even connected with the Capella beings. I also want to bring in some of the awareness of our Capella starseed nation. And as these beings held in the wisdom teachings, that they seeded these sacred lineage lines that would have been held within the Amazon forest. So through the Jaguar lineage lines, through the Aboriginal lineage lines, through the Native lineage lines, through the Essenes, through the Druids, through the Celtic lineage lines, through the Hindu lineage lines. These are all seeded through all these different teachings, through all of the earth. And these Kalu traveled, they wandered the earth to create these different root race sacred teachings and lineages like the Essenes and like the Druids. I'm going to use these two as the main examples. They taught them. They were the children of these beings. They groomed them. They helped them maintain these sacred wisdoms and these sacred teachings from the ancient Atlantean times. Now, the Kalu are the beings of spirit. So when we think of the Merkaba, the Ka is what these beings were called. They were the beings of spirit. Now I want to come back to the remembrance of the original beings on earth were the Namaluu. For short, many of them were called the Lulu or the Lu'u. So the Ka-Lu were some of these ancient beings. They were star beings that were remnants from the Atlantean times, and they were the ones that really started moving and working with the tribe, the original 12 tribe races across the earth, in order to hold the sacred wisdoms in many different, all across the earth in many different ways. And they did not specifically teach any of these teachings to all be the same. They modified the teachings, but at the baseline of the teachings, the wisdom teaching was love and forgiveness and the preparation for the ascension cycle. Now we're going to step back one more level, and the Namaluu from the ancient Atlantean times were placed in guardianship of Earth and to do this project by the Melchizedek family line. The Melchizedek family line comes all the way from the seat of Orion, the belt of Orion in the 8th dimensional spectrum, and all the way from the original seed races within Lyra. Melchizedek lineage line is one of the original families from the higher heavens that came from the Andromedan galaxy to be a part of the guardians to assist unity consciousness within this universe and this creation. The part of the creation that we are experiencing now is based on duality. And the Melchizedek lineage line, it is a family line, it is a consciousness line that has spread across every level of this 15-dimensional time matrix. So all the cosmos, the Melchizedeks travel, and they are the primary original missionaries, if you will, of the Christos mission. They uphold the living law that they go into incarnations and into star systems and across the cosmos where the most problematic energy is. This is how highly evolved, especially the blue flame Melchizedek lineage line is. They go to the places in the cosmos where the balance of unity is going out of alignment within the cosmic body in order to go back in and reinstate the light and reinstate unity. How does unity get reinstated? Through the consciousness of the sentient beings who are a reflection of the planetary consciousness. We here as human beings on this planet are a reflection as a whole of the planetary consciousness. So as the Melchizedeks have been holding the divine sacred lineages and teachings on this planet, they implement these teachings by creating different cycles of race lines to hold these sacred teachings. Now, when we look at beings like the Essenes and the Druids, they had their purpose and they had their time. They were here very specifically to help the Yeshua mission. The Yeshua mission was the Christos mission, the Christ consciousness mission that came through from Yeshua, Sananda, or Jesus Christ. That this being was actually not just one being, but there were actually three. And that as these beings came through, that they were coming through to anchor in new dimensional higher frequencies of energies in order to seed it into this planet and for the planet to now activate those within the DNA strands so that we could hold those codes upon this earth. And as we hold those codes upon this earth, that we can know that once that seed took place, that when we look at history, that was the time when the Essenes actually pretty much began to unravel and the Essene massacres occurred. This is our job to realize there are cycles in cosmic history. That when we can realize that there are these epochs, there's these eras, there's these times where we come through to live out these missions. And yes, many times at the end of these missions, there's massacres, there's traumatic things that happen, there's complete things that happen that feel so painful and how these energies got unraveled. Our job is to actually acknowledge that which was accomplished. And that within this, that the information of the Essenes and the Druids and a lot of these sacred lineage lines, like the Jaguars within the Americas, all went underground. And it was very strategically hidden by the Kalu, by the Syrian star nations, by the blue flame Melchizedek lineage lines, for the next moment in our history when we would need access to this information again. So many of us here are actually beings who lived through those timelines, have memories of those timelines, remember going through all of that. And we've come back again to relive the next cycle where we get to uphold the mission. I will tell you that many of the beings in the Essene times, holding energy for Yeshua to do and accomplish what Yeshua came here to do, because he was coming here from such a higher dimensional frequency place. In order to anchor that energy in here, many of them had to actually be the monitors of the ley lines and to hold energy while many of these things were happening on his mission. And it was very difficult for the human body to hold those levels of frequency. Once that mission was accomplished, many of the Essenes actually died because too much energy ran through their body and it depleted the energy stores within them and actually perished to the actual physical form. Many of them became very frail after that. It's really important for us to understand that sometimes we come here for missions and life cycles to really work with anchoring higher light codes of energy. And we love our body, we nurture our body, we take care of our body. But as each of us knows, that many times when we're moving and healing lost souls off the planet, we get really tired. We might even feel a little low. We might even feel as though our digestion doesn't work for a little while afterwards. It's important to know that it's part of our mission sometimes to understand how moving huge packets of energy actually affects the physical body. And it's not for us to make it wrong. Our job is to remember the bigger picture. Remember the bigger picture, and that we're not doing this alone. And we've been doing this cycle after cycle after cycle. And as we get to remember this history, that many times, especially even after that energy happened, the desire was for all of that energy to all of a sudden change the earth, and for higher consciousness, and for love, and for the ascension cycle to take place, and for people to start living within Christ consciousness. But as we know from going through these time cycles, that 2,000 years ago, that did not just magically happen. That in truth, that it was a level of almost feeling like the dark ages coming through. And as those moments progressed, the light was seated. And it's important to realize from the Melchizedek perspective that everything is seen as a seed, a flower, and a tree. And this is why the Druids really put so much emphasis on utilizing trees as a huge aspect of how they do the work that they do. Because it's about the tree of life. The tree of life is the 12 tree grid, or the morphogenetic grid of all of our connection to the divine cosmic body. And that as we realize ourselves as a part of this greater tree of life, that the seed is the seed of light and the seed of consciousness. And when the seed of consciousness is planted within our mind, that it's our job to cultivate it and allow it to grow. And that, like a flower, when the flower finally blooms, guess what? The flower eventually becomes. It becomes the fruit many times, but then that fruit then becomes the seed. And the cycle starts all over again. So as we get to understand this, that it's a beautiful time for us right now, because the Essene knowledge is coming back. knowing in the 1940s, as many of the scrolls were rediscovered, as a lot of the Nagamati texts are coming back to us, as a lot of the ancient wisdoms are starting to get unearthed on the planet, let us remember our connection to our larger cycles that we have been a part of. That yes, it's going to be difficult sometimes. Yes, we're going to feel low. Yes, we're going to get hit by some energy sometimes. Yes, it's not always easy to hold love and forgiveness in our heart, because it's a matter of really going against a huge vibration on the planet that wants to implode the darkness here. Because there are beings on the planet that did not want the 26,556 year cycle, ascension cycle, to happen, because if they could keep the ascension cycle from happening, guess what? None of us go anywhere, and then they can just keep feeding off of the souls that are being recycled here. And our job is to say, no, we evoke divine law and divine right order, and we all have the right to return home. We all have the right to instate the Christos mission upon this planet. And our reverberation of this message is truly by us being that Christ consciousness within ourselves. That as we evoke the Christ light within us, that no matter how low we get, no matter how hard it seems sometimes, that we come back into that light and we reattune ourselves to our star families, to our Christ consciousness families, to family lines that have been on these cycles for millennia of time. The Melchizedeks have been holding this energy for millions of years. The Kumaras have been holding this energy and holding the vibrational solar frequencies on this planet for millions of years. So for us to be at this pinnacle of time where, yes, it's going to feel like we're in the middle of an ocean as a whirl of energy is getting ready to just cycle through this ascension cycle, everything speeds up at the ascension cycle. And it's our gift in this very moment to have our memories back. I invite you to connect to those aspects of yourself that connect to these ancient wisdoms on the planet. And these ancient wisdoms and teachings are originating from our Atlantean family lines, from our Lemurian family lines, from our Sirian, our Capellan, our Orion, our Lyran, our Andromedan family lines, our Pleiadian family lines. And these are originating all the way back to the Melchizedek, Blue Lodge, or Blue Flame lineage lines. And as I say this, I just want to really invite you, make sure when you call upon Archangel Michael, Melchizedek, or even Metatron, that you call upon the original from the higher heavens, from the Andromedan galaxy family lineage lines. Because every single one of those, that trinity, has all had its genetics distorted. It's par for it. But just like us, because we're holding this distortion right within ourselves, let us ask the Divine Mother and the Divine Father matrix, what is the beauty of this? What is the gift of this? Let us see, feel, or sense, or at least trust the higher wisdom of the cosmic divine plan of the infinite intelligence of the universe, that we can understand from a divine level that there is divine purpose and perfection within the chaos of nature. And as we learn from that, as we surrender to that, that we get to allow ourselves to just let go, let it pass right through us. And so with that, we get to now just take, and I just invite, as we just hold this last thought here, the core of Christ's teachings, Yeshua's teachings, was love and forgiveness, because those were the main tools to assist us through the ascension portal. That when you can hold the vibration of love, that light code matches the stargate for your soul to pass through the ascension cycle and actually return to the second harmonic universe so you don't stay stuck in the first harmonic universe and get recycled as a soul again. Forgiveness helps us dissipate the energetic tethers and ties and all of our quantum entanglement to everything in the first harmonic universe. It sounds simple, but forgiveness it is a skill. And as we sense this, that I will invite you to realize that Yeshua was a Melchizedek. He was of the highest order Melchizedek lineage line that incarnated upon this earth. There were three. And this is another story for another time, but there were three. There was a 9th dimensional Yeshua. There was a 12th dimensional Yeshua. And then there was actually a reversal or one to come in and kind of throw things off, a 6th dimensional Yeshua on the planet. That within this, as we attune to the 9th dimensional and the 12th dimensional Yeshuas, we actually see the tandem working of how intricate and how long-standing the Melchizedek plan has been across the cosmos to always weave in a doorway out. And that at the baseline of the Melchizedek teachings is that the temple is right inside of you. Your heart is the temple. And within your temple of your heart is everything. It is the kingdom. It is source. It is creator. It is the all. It is one. And within this, that the most resonant vibration that you can attune to be within that kingdom is love. Because love is the highest vibration and frequency, that when you can hold it, it is the key to the doorway of the stargates so that you make it through the ascension cycles. And that forgiveness is truly just a technique and a tool that we can use in order to help us clear out whatever that we are holding within us, so that we are not bound by any of the lower vibrations, so that we can truly elevate that 12th dimensional sphere of Christ consciousness through us, emanate it, be it, live it, feel it. Yes, we are probably always going to be dealing with people on this planet that are riddled with entities, attachments. Our job is to not let them take our power away or diminish our energy, and to get back to that higher vibration as fast as possible. And that as we do that, remember home. Is it really worth letting someone piss you off, get you down, make you sad, pull your energy from you? Is it really worth risking an entire other ascension cycle on this planet for that one person or that one situation in your life? I know my answer. It's just an invitation that if we can look at it from that perspective, it's going to help us a lot more, because as we all know, we've been tortured, we've been maimed, we've been cut, we've died in every single way on this planet already before, and multiple other planets at the same vibration. And in this, that all of it has been to try to keep us at a lower vibration, so that we feel so victimized and helpless and hopeless that we don't remember that, oh, holy shit, the entire world lives right inside of my heart. And all I have to do is not give my power away to you. And I'm going back through that Stargate. So with that, I invite each of you to just realize that, again, these wisdom teachings are coming back to us. All of them are being unearthed. Find the ones that resonate for you. We all have different attunements on the planet. I would say even in our circle that we're connected to all of them, that we're all each going to kind of bring those into the circle together to create a wholeness from it. Connect to nature, connect to the earth. Earth is the key, because we're part of her. And if we could just remember, we're not even a human, we're just a walking aspect of planetary consciousness. And if we could realize that our elevation of our consciousness is actually elevating planetary consciousness, we are going to really help ourselves move into that next level of being. And Source doesn't care how long it takes us, because that's how much it loves us. You can go through the cycles many times as you want. Here's the one last thing I will say, because I know this has been a lot this evening. The one last thing I will say is that within the higher heavens, we can call upon the angelics. So this last point I want to say is, let's remember to evoke, call upon, and allow the assistance. Let's work with the elementals, the earth beings, the inner earth beings, the angelic realms, the sylphs, all the beings. Every time you look at chemtrails in the sky and all of a sudden you see the angelic sylphs go through and make these beautiful angelic imprints in the sky and make all of it disappear, don't forget to say thank you and acknowledge them as a living entity and being that are in the sky doing this work for us. Let us connect with all of that and the angelics again, because here's the thing. Within the first harmonic universe, we are creator gods. So therefore, Source does not step in to change anything, because it's allowing us to have an experience of being creator gods upon this earth. So therefore, being a victim is the stupidest thing we could ever do, because we're the ones creating it, right? So our job is to step into being the creator within it. And as a creator, imagine being a divine of your kingdom. Would you not evoke the help of those within your kingdom? Create it, be it. That is the one last thing, because this is something the guardians were really bringing through. They're saying Source will never step in and superimpose upon our free will, ever, ever, ever. So therefore, if we're sitting in a state of victimhood or feeling sorry for ourselves, Source is going like, that's awesome. I respect that you're wanting to have that experience to know what that's like. So if you want to do that for 1,000,000 years, please take your time. I respect you that much that however long you need to do that, you can do that. So when we hear that, now we get to come to the place of going like, oh, well, never mind. I got it already. I want to learn a little bit faster. So with that, I invite you guys. Yes, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of souls. The earth is shaking and moving. Every earthquake that's happening, every new solar energy that's hitting the planet, the way the shamanic resonance is hitting, every volcano that happens moves the vibrations of the earth, and locked souls and spirits begin to get unlodged and become free. They're wandering around. They're help. Our job is just to be those that come to us. Let's help them move through. Is it going to wear on our body? Yes, sometimes it does. Sometimes we'll get tired. Sometimes we'll get depleted. It's not about getting down. It's just going like, man, it's just a lot of energy. And sometimes it's just, it's a lot for the human body to handle. But we love it. We just rebuild it and we keep going. So the more and more we realize that there is a lot of activity within the sky, use your discernment with all of it. And with so much love, you guys, thank you so much for letting me share this, as our amazing star family is so present with us. And they're saying, remember it through the ancient teachings and feel the cycle of it, because this is the ascension cycle that we're feeling. So let's make it through that stargate.